This story from a galaxy far, far away takes place several years after the Jedi Purge, where the Jedi Council was eradicated and the Jedi hunted to near extinction, forerun by the infamous Order 66. We begin on the planet Braca at an Imperial scrapyard, where a young Purge-surviving Jedi in hiding named Cal Kestis has decided to lie low and become a scrapper. He and his friend and co-worker Prof get an assignment to make repairs atop a tower, so they begin the long climb to do so. While on the scrapped ship that the tower is on, it begins to collapse and the pair slide towards their certain doom, until they can find a grip just before the ship's edge. Prof, however, has trouble hanging on and slips. It's then that Cal risks himself being found by using the Force to save and lower Prof to safety. He asks Cal about it, but Cal asks him not to mention it. His secret is safe with Prof. The two board a train to head back home, and an exhausted Cal falls asleep on the shuttle. In his sleep, he dreams of himself running through the hallways of a facility he means to escape, until he runs face to face into his former master, Jaro Tapal, who tells him to trust only in the Force. It's at that time that Cal wakes up and their train ride is over. However, there is an Imperial checkpoint that they have to go through to get off the train. Prof suggests that it's likely another contraband check, but he couldn't be more wrong. Turns out the Empire is looking for a fugitive Jedi in the area. They are surrounded by stormtroopers while awaiting the arrival of the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors being a group of Force-sensitive people recruited by the Empire to hunt the remaining Jedi. An Inquisitor steps forward, seemingly the one in command known as the Second Sister. She calls out to the crowd, asking for the Jedi to turn themselves over, or everyone that was on that train will be executed. Prof steps forward for what a moment appears to be to sell out Cal, but he gives a wonderful speech about how the Empire sucks and that to them citizens are just expendable, to which the Second Sister agrees as she puts her lightsaber through his chest. This enrages Cal, and he draws his own lightsaber and reveals himself. But before a fight can ensue, the Ninth Sister drops Cal off a cliff. Luckily for our hero, however, he lands on another train, and is able to fight his way through stormtroopers to try and escape. But when hope for an escape begins to wane, an unknown ship appears and helps Cal make his way out. He's finally able to make it aboard this ship, called the Mantis, after having to flee from a duel against the Second Sister. On board the ship there are two passengers, a woman named Seer Junda, a former Jedi, and the ship's captain, Grease Drydas. Seer tells Cal that they found him because she tracks Imperial comms, and explains that the Second Sister is an Imperial Inquisitor who will never stop hunting him. She tells Cal that she needs his help, that the Jedi Order is gone, but they can rebuild it. And Cal is their only hope, as options are limited, with the most Jedi being dead or gone. Cal says that something happened to him during the Purge, and his connection to the Force is damaged, but he will help as best he can. We see Cal pick up a musical instrument and begin playing a song that Seer wrote. She notes on his ability to do that, and he says that he can feel Force echoes within objects, the ability to acquire information about people or events by simply touching an object, a power known as psychometry, which is an uncommon trait in Jedi. The newfound group arrives on the planet Bogano, where Seer believes that an old vault holds the key to rebuilding the Order, and that only a Jedi can pass the tests within, and that there's someone she wants Cal to meet here.
Hey, BD1. I'm Cal. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm looking for someone. No, not you. I'm searching for a Jedi, I think. Hold on. You know the Jedi? What do you know? Wait, hold on. You okay? Wait, I can help you with that. Will you let me? Oh, okay. Well, your scomp is busted, but this should help you get moving for now. Okay, Try that. The vault. Yeah, that's where I was headed to. Okay.
Once the two make their way into the vault, a hologram recording begins to play from BD-1. It's of an old Master Jedi named Eno Cordova. He says that whoever is seeing this has passed the tests and unlocked one of many hologram recordings within the droid. He continues to say that he may not know Cal's name, but he knows his purpose, and that the fate of the Jedi Order lies in his hands. He says that this vault is a sacred temple built by a vanished civilization known as the Zepho, an ancient race of Force users. Cordova goes on to say that when he meditated here, he was granted a vision of doom, and that inside this vault he placed a holocron, an item that stores information only available to Jedi, and that the holocron contains a list of the names and locations of young Force sensitives throughout the galaxy. He says that he can only trust someone with the holocron that has followed his path and understands it as he does. So he says to seek out the 3 tombs of the ancient Zepho sages, and learn to perceive the Force as the Zepho once did. And in the droid, Cal will find everything he needs to succeed in that journey. Cal heads back to the Mantis and tells Cere about what he learned. She's pleased to hear about what is potentially the next generation of Jedi, and the idea of using the young Force sensitives to rebuild the Jedi Order and defeat the Empire. She also reveals that she was actually once Cordova's apprentice. Before they can continue, Cal says that he needs to know why Cere is no longer a Jedi. She tells him that she had an experience that changed her perspective, and so she cut herself off from the Force, but still believes rebuilding the Order is the only means to defeating the Empire. Cal says that he's done hiding and wants to fight for this cause, so they set off to the Zepho homeworld to start following Cordova's path. While on Zepho, Cal has to fight through Imperial forces that are already here, and learns that they're pursuing something the Empire calls Project Augur, which is an operation to dig up Zepho artifacts, and possibly hints that the Empire is onto Cal and Cere's cause. Cal makes his way into the first tomb, and it's important to note that during Cal's quest, he continues to heal and strengthen his connection to the Force, recalling abilities and powers he hadn't used since before the Purge. While exploring the first Zepho tomb, another hologram is played that suggests that the Zepho had contact with the Wookiees of Kashyyyk, and it is likely that Cordova made contact there with his friend, the Wookiee chieftain Tarful. Cal returns to the Mantis with this new information and destination.
When the Purge started, and our clone troops turned against us, my Padawan and I took several younglings and we went into hiding, but we didn't last long. Imperial Patrol was about to discover our location, so I tried to lure them away from my Padawan Trilla. She stayed behind with the younglings, but they caught me, and they tortured me. They wanted to know about the others and how many were left, but mostly they wanted to know about Cordova and where he went.
But you escaped.
Yeah. It was a prison riot. I saw my opportunity and I took it. But they almost broke me. And I am not the same as I was, Cal.
Your Padawan. Did she survive?
No. But that's why we can't give up. We can't let the sacrifice of those closest to us be for nothing.
Once they arrive on Kashyyyk, they see the Wookiee forces fighting back against the tide of the Empire. Cal insists that he needs to help them, as Tarful is likely among the rebellion forces. He hijacks one of the Imperial AT-AT walkers and uses it to kick some serious Empire butt. He runs into Saul Gerrera, a face you may remember from Rogue One, who is also here helping the Wookiee rebellion. Cal helps the rebellion free a large number of Wookiees from an Imperial slave camp, and they push back the Empire for now. Saw wants Cal to join him in his cause, but Cal declines, having his own mission to fulfill. The Wookiees are thankful to Cal, but inform him that Tarful is not here, but the Wookiees will look for him and inform Cal once they've found him. It's then that Cere calls Cal over comms and says that she decrypted an Imperial communication stating that Project Augur has been reactivated, as the Empire has found a second tomb on Zepho. Cal and friends quickly head back that way to try and beat the Empire to the punch. After fighting his way through Imperial forces at their excavation site, Cal begins to get a strange feeling as he gets closer. It's then that he runs into the second sister again, and after a brief fight before she's able to best Cal, BD-1 springs a laser door between the two of them before the second sister can strike the killing blow.
You're learning. Not quite as gifted as Cere's last apprentice, but not bad.
You've been keeping count.
I'm surprised she didn't tell you. Cere was never good at keeping secrets.
And you know her so well, huh?
She was weak. Cracked in an Imperial torture chair. Surrendered the location of her naive Padawan. They would never have found me.
If it wasn't for her, she betrayed me.
You were Trilla.
In the flesh.
I won't let you manipulate me.
So sure are you? When faced with the choice to protect herself or her Padawan, she chose self-interest. She'll sell you out too.
Well, I can handle myself.
Can you afford to take that chance? Your new master harbors great darkness. The look on her face when she saw what they had done to me, as I am now. She turned, exposing her true nature. She used the dark side.
She cut herself off from the Force.
Oh? How long before she cracks and betrays you too? Is that who you want beside you when you find the holocron? What would Jaro Tapal say?
You have no right to mention his name.
I wonder, what would he think if he could see his Padawan now, skulking in the shadows with a betrayer, granting her access to a legion of impressionable students?
No, I won't let anyone touch them.
I thought the same thing once.
While Cal is delving deeper into the Zepho tomb, Trilla hacks into his comms and taunts him along the way. In the tomb, Cal receives another hologram message from Cordova. It shows him pointing to a painting on the wall in the tomb. He says that it's a representation of the vault on Bogano, and shows an item known as an astrium used as the key to access it. So Cal will need to find an astrium if any still exist. While heading back to the Mantis, Cal notices something is off as the comms are down. He runs into an unfamiliar foe who beats Cal in combat and knocks him out. He wakes up in an underground cell on an unknown planet sometime later, and after recovering BD-1 and making his way out, he finds himself in a large arena. Turns out he was expected. A group called the Haxian Brood run this place, and apparently the Mantis' captain, Grease, owed them some money, and so they were sending bounty hunters after him and his crew. Cal is forced to fight a variety of different creatures before the Mantis comes crashing into the arena to rescue Cal and escape the bounty hunters. Really just a very random detour in our hero's journey. Back on the ship, Cal tries to confront Cere about Trilla, but a message from Kashyyyk comes in saying that they have Tarful's location, so the two agree to hold the conversation afterwards. On Kashyyyk, Tarful tells Cal that Cordova found wisdom atop the origin tree, and so Cal sets off to climb this gigantic tree. But on the way, he's assaulted by the Ninth Sister of the Inquisition, as her ship open fires on him. Luckily for Cal, however, a large winged creature known as the Shio Bird knocks the Inquisitor's ship from the sky. Further up into the tree, Cal runs into the creature and sees that it has a piece of the ship lodged in its wing. Cal helps the large bird creature out, and to thank him, it flies him to the peak of the tree. There, he comes face to face with the Ninth Sister, and after their battle, he force throws her from the boughs of the tree. Another hologram recording of Cordova plays and shows that it was here that he found an astrium, and suggests that he won't now have to go to Dathomir to find the one there. Which means that Dathomir is where Cal will have to go to find his. Back on the ship, Cere tells Cal that while she was prisoner, there was one specific torturer, the cruelest of them all, who made her break and give up Trilla, and admits to lying about it. She says that devastated, she used the dark side to escape from the prison, and fearful of ever slipping back into the dark, she vowed to never use the Force again. But that's enough of a heart-to-heart for now, as they land on Dathomir for Cal to explore the last tomb and find the astrium. On Dathomir, Cal meets a Night Sister, a dark magic-wielding witch named Marin. She tells him to leave, that the Jedi are forbidden here. Cal tries to protest, but she sicks her Night Brothers upon him. And fun fact, Darth Maul was born a Night Brother. Anyway, after defeating the Night Brothers, Cal continues to look for the astrium when he runs into a mysterious hooded man. The man tells Cal he's a traveler studying extinct cultures, and tells him about the Night Sister, how she was only a child when the war came to her world and had to watch her whole family perish, which was carried out by Count Dooku and General Grievous, which we don't learn in game, but now you know anyway. The stranger tells Cal that the Night Sister and her warrior kin were seduced by the power that dwells within the tomb, and that he'll suffer the same fate should he choose not to ignore it. Cal runs into Marin again. She tells him that Jedi are nothing more than liars and thieves, bringing only death. In an act of necromancy, she raises her dead sisters to assault Cal along his journey. Once he reaches the tomb, Cal is drawn into another vision. In it, we see a young Padawan Cal and his master Jaro Tapal training just moments before Order 66 is given. We see as the clones turn on them, Jaro slays them and tells his Padawan to make it to the escape pods and that he'll meet him in there. Fighting his way through the people he used to trust, young Cal makes it to an escape pod and meets his master. But they're overrun and Jaro is fatally wounded defending Cal as they get into the pod. Once the pod is drifting in space, Jaro tells Cal to wait for a signal from the Jedi Council, and to trust only in the Force as the darkness of death takes him. His vision then turns from memory into Cal standing before his master once more, except this trial is of one facing a dark phantom of his master who blames and berates Cal, blaming him and calling him weak. Cal screams out in protest and is pulled from the vision only to realize that his lightsaber had broken, be it from the vision or from the anger the vision produced in him. So, without his trusty weapon, Cal heads back towards the Mantis, but outside the tomb the stranger is waiting for him. Cal asks him who he is, to which he replies Talon Malicos, a former Jedi. He tells Cal that they have much in common, having escaped the Purge to Dathomir and surviving the Dark here. That he used the Force to seize power here on Dathomir and wants Cal to join him. Cal retorts that he doesn't need help, and it's then that the Night Sister arrives. She begins to raise more of her dead sisters to assault both of the men, but Cal evades them as he heads back onto the ship. Cal blames himself for what happened to his master, blames himself for not being stronger. Cere tells him that it's time for her to tell the whole truth about everything that happened to her. She tells him that she tapped into the dark side when she saw what the Empire had done to Trilla, that she had given up all hope until she learned of the holocron, that it was a new spark of hope for her. She says that you have to choose to move on from the past, and Cal can do so by building a new lightsaber. She gives Cal her old saber hilt, and they head off to Ilum for Cal to retrieve a new crystal. In the frozen caverns of Ilum, Cal seeks out his own Kyber crystal to reforge the lightsaber with. Once he finally finds that crystal that had been calling out to him, it breaks in half in his hands upon handling it, and he begins to lose all hope.
It's over. He failed.
Failure's not the end, my friend.
That's good, buddy.
The time's come. This may be the last you see of me. I can sense the doom of the Jedi Order is upon us. No! Failure's not the end. It is a necessary part of the path. Hope will always survive in those who continue to fight. Like you, BD-1. I believe you will find someone just as brave and persistent as you have been. And you will help them, as you have helped me. But your memory will be completely lost. Are you sure you want to do this? Beginning total memory encryption. Only with a trusted connection will your memories be restored. I believe in you, as I always have. And I believe in whom you choose to replace me. Goodbye, old friend.
Your memories. You risked them for me. Yeah, I believe in you too, buddy. Yeah, you're right. There's still a chance.
This motivates Cal to continue fighting against the adversity. And welding his old master and Seer's hilts together, he reforges his Jedi weapon. Cal returns to Dathomir to face the Vision's trial again and find the Astrium. When pulled into the Vision again to face the dark phantom of his master, Cal puts his saber down and says that he'll always remember his master and his teachings and will honor him, and allows himself to forgive the past and move forward. Passing this test opens the path further into the tomb. He is once again confronted by the Night Sister Merrin. This time, however, she hears Cal out. He tells her that what she heard about the Jedi isn't true, that the Jedi, though now mostly extinct, were guardians and protectors of the galaxy. She tells him of the warriors with lightsabers that slaughtered her people, and that then Malicos came and promised her revenge if she shared their secrets with him. Cal tells her that they don't have to be enemies, to which she agrees, but insists on watching him as he continues on. Further into the tomb, Cal confronts Malicos, and Malicos mocks the idea of rebuilding the Jedi Order, and says that Cal should join him and they can build something better. Not to be swayed by the dark side, Cal refuses and a fight breaks out between them. When Malicos finds the upper hand, Night Sister Merrin steps in to help Cal, and together they kill Malicos. After the fight, Cal tells Merrin why he's here and about the Empire. She agrees to ally herself with Cal. Finally, at the end of the tomb, he finds the Astrium, the key to opening the vault on Bogano.
It is real.
Merrin, this could be the key to the next generation of Jedi.
I'm happy for you. And your Jedi. But nothing can bring back my people.
After the purge, I was alone for a long time. In hiding. I was scared that they'd find out who I was, or what I was.
What changed?
A very good friend of mine told me to go out and find my place in the galaxy.
And you listened?
Well, no. But life has this funny way of forcing you on the path forward anyway. Now here I am. Or at least expected.
A path forward. I will join you.
You will?
I've spent years waiting for a chance to avenge my sisters. I'm finished waiting. I wish to fight by your side. Night Sisters and Jedi do not travel together, but survivors. We adapt.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we do. What do you think, BD? I agree. My crew, they might take a little bit of convincing, though.
Then we'll convince them.
Back on Bogano, Cal re-enters the vault and is shown yet more visions. Visions of the Empire finding and killing all of the younglings that he found using the holocron after failing to keep them safe. The vision fades to black, and as Cal pulls out his saber to light up the room, we see it illuminate red. The vision shows Cal as an Inquisitor. Cal breaks free from these thoughts and pulls himself from the vision. He sees the holocron in the center of the room, but as he goes to retrieve it, he's met by Trilla. Another fight between them ensues, but this time Cal gets the upper hand and disarms her. But as he grabs her lightsaber, he's weighed down by the Force echo carried within her weapon. He relives the hell that Trilla had been through, sees Cere leave her, sees her tortured and turned to the dark side, sees Cere use of the dark side to escape. And by the time he shrugs this burden off, Trilla has escaped with the holocron. Cal runs back to the Mantis to tell Cere what happened. He first apologizes to her for judging what she did, and now that he's seen it and felt it himself, he understands. Cere says she knows where Trilla is going to take the holocron, to the Inquisitor Fortress where they torture people and turn them into Inquisitors. But before they head out, Cere grabs Trilla's lightsaber and tells Cal to kneel, and she officially knights him a Jedi Knight. In order to get to the Inquisitor Fortress, they have to sneak by Imperial ships, which Merrin helps them do through the magic of a spell. Once on the planet, Cere tells Cal that she's going to help him infiltrate the underwater fortress, and they both head in together. After fighting their way through the fortress, they arrive in the room where Trilla and the holocron await. Trilla and Cal have their epic final showdown, but Cal comes out the victor this time.
Cal!
I have the holocron.
I need to do this. It's over, Trilla.
Nothing is ever truly over.
This fight is over. I know the darkness that is eating you up inside, and every day we choose to either feed it or fight it.
It's too late, sir.
No, it's not. I know the choices that I made took all your choices away, and I have failed you, Trilla. I failed you. And I am so very sorry.
I've carried so much hate for you.
doesn't look good.
It isn't. It's him.
You have failed me, Inquisitor.
Avengers! Run! No!
You would be wise to surrender.
Yeah. Probably.
After a brief standoff against Vader himself, Cal knows that he has zero chance of winning that fight and begins running away as the entire facility is being torn apart around him. Once he's finally about to escape, Vader cuts off his path once more. This time, however, Cere isn't thrown off a platform and intervenes. He tries to strike, but Cere uses a powerful display of the Force to protect herself and Cal. Cal then shatters the glass holding the water at bay into pieces, leaving Vader distracted enough for them to flee. Cere loses consciousness, and Cal begins to swim her towards the surface, but not before he too begins to lose consciousness. Luckily for both of them, however, Marin shows up and swims them back to the ship.
This is the end of my charter. Your contract has been fulfilled. Thank you, Grease.
Well, if it's all the same to you, I was thinking that maybe I would stick around here and take you wherever you gotta go. Besides, the kid kinda looks up to me.
What about that?
We use it to rebuild the Jedi Order.
The next generation of Jedi.
The Empire will be after him, just like they're after us.
The lives of every child on that list will be forever changed.
Not by us. Their destiny should be trusted to the Force. So where to now?
Tell me, Cal Kestis, why lead when they won't follow? Why fight when you can't win? What is your next move, Jedi?